Hello everybody, welcome to Bidulginang waterfall. It means pigeon something waterfall, which I can't translate because I don't know what the nang is for. Bidulgi means pigeon, Bidulginang, pigeon something. Well, this waterfall is quite a famous place actually, and therefore you might hear some tourists. I'm here to shoot the frozen waterfall because it's winter now, and frozen waterfall is always beautiful. My frame that I got here is this beautiful waterfall. It's like almost emerald green, and there's this frozen waterfall like so, like icicles, and there's this red tree leaning towards the water. So let's shoot it. ISO 100, f9, 1/10 of a second. And there's my first shot. Now this is just a test shot. I'm not sure if I'm gonna really add this to my portfolio, but it seems nice. It surely seems nice. Okay, I'm gonna make one more shot. Actually, now I'm gonna show you the back of my screen. Okay, so you probably see here that there's this red tree leaning towards this waterfall, and there's a frozen waterfall here. Oops. Oh no. And then there's that emerald color waterfall, but water pond, but you can't see because it's too dark. Maybe if I brighten up a little, you might see it. Yep, there it goes. That's the color. So it's a dead simple image. I think I'm gonna crop here and here out. So probably it's gonna be a square image, square form image. So just like that, ISO 100, f9, 1/8 of a second, and that's my shot. I'm not really proud of this image, but I like how the tree leans towards the blue emerald colored water and the overall calm mood it gives. So I've got my second composition framed up, and I'm going to use my polarizer again. It's just a simple 16mm shot of this waterfall. Very dead simple. Just trying to cut off that reflection so that this emerald colored water will be more of a saturated, and just a dead easy shot. ISO 100, f9, 1/8 of a second, and that's my shot. I prefer this image over the previous one because it exudes a more mystical vibe. However, it could have been much better if I could have descended to a lower vantage point and taken a close-up shot of one of the rocks as a prominent foreground object. Unfortunately, like most waterfalls in Korea, the pathway down to the pond was blocked as it was winter. So now that I've finished shooting this whole of the waterfall, now I'm going to change my lens to 100 and 400 and shoot some small scenes out of this waterfall, because there's that frozen water, just water icicles, I guess that's what it's called in English, and some small like images I can see, so that's what I'm going to shoot right now. So let me change my lens. So I've got my second, I think this is third composition framed up, and it's just ice, like the shapes of the ice, and behind under them is small rocks, and I think it can be a good abstract image. I'm gonna crop it one by one again, so square crop, and everything else is the same. ISO 100, f9, but the shutter speed is a little bit slower, 1/4 of a second, and there's my shot. And now I'm gonna shoot this one up close, so you see this these like ice stacks, some kind of. So I'm gonna focus on that. So just a tad brighter with that one. 0.6 seconds, and there goes my shot. So I don't know if either of those images will look good, but at least one, I mean at least the first one, I think it'll look quite nice. This one, I'm not really sure. It's just like a insurance shot, I guess. To be honest, I thought it would turn out better, but I can't polish this turd. I consider it a failed shot, not even mediocre. Nevertheless, I still wanted to share it as it's a part of my journey. I thought the previous composition would turn out better, but I think this one looks better. It's still a mediocre shot, but again, it's a part of my journey, so I'm sharing it. I wasn't saying about the composition here because there was a pack of tourists right next to me, curiously looking at what I was doing. So I stood behind the camera and just waited for 20 seconds of long exposure in an awkward silence. Now, compared to the last two shots, this one looks better, but I think this still is a rather mediocre image. From the back of my camera, it looked quite nice, but when I opened it on Lightroom, I was a bit disappointed. There is no clear subject, it's neither the icicles nor the reflection. The only thing that's interesting about this image is the fact that it's a long exposure shot. So we found this another viewpoint up here, and the viewpoint that we were at before is too crowded. As I said, this place is quite famous, and it's Wednesday today, and even though it's Wednesday, there are a lot of people, and I couldn't speak in front of those people because it's too awkward. So I've got my next composition here. It's this stream of water coming from that waterfall. So this is my composition now, and I've got my polarizer on, and the reason why I've got it on is because you see this white line of this water stream here. If I turn this polarizer ever so slightly, it goes away, and this waterfall here and here will be a little bit more visible. And I'm gonna use my 6 stopper, and then I'm gonna make my exposure a little bit longer. So I'm trying to do a long exposure here. I guess 30 seconds will look okay. This image is the opposite of the previous one. I didn't like the result when I saw it from the back of my camera, but when I opened it in Lightroom, I started to like it. I like how the two waterfalls are positioned, and I also like the contrast between the blue water and the orange dead leaves. But let me know in the comments below if you think otherwise. So now that I've made this image, we're gonna go back to the car and rest a little and then move up to the second location. Now, it could have been better, of course, if I could just go down there and shoot it up close, like the water here and, you know, 60mm like that. It could have been much better, but sadly the way to go down there was blocked. So now that we're done here, let's go back to the car. But before I go, I just wanted to show you this place. This is Hantan River, and it's the river that flows from that waterfall which I shot before. And isn't this just beautiful? This is located in Gyeonggi province, which is one of the biggest provinces in Korea. And if you ever come here to shoot some landscapes, I definitely recommend you to come and visit this place because it's absolutely stunning here. And this is not the only geolocation here. We will move up to another location which is also connected to Hantan River. So let's go there and shoot more photos. Of course, I forgot. So we're at Jane Waterfall or Jane Falls, and this is the place that I had in mind. Probably the last place of the day. So right now, I'm just gonna shoot the whole of the waterfall. I'm currently at about 60mm, and I'm gonna use a polarizer. So I've got my polarizer on and my 6-stopper as well. I can't show you the back of the screen because it's too bright. The sun is right here and it's hitting the screen too bright. So ISO 100, f9, and 13 seconds. I have nothing much to say about this image. It's another failure of mine. The only interesting aspect of this image is the fact that it's a long exposure shot. So my last composition is this waterfall falling from the waterfall, of course, because it's waterfall. And there's this white bubbles made by this falling water. And this emerald colored blue water is just down there. I'm gonna make a long exposure, so 15 seconds and 2-second timer, which is not working. There you go, 2-second timer, and let's wait 15 seconds. Okay, so the photo's done. Let's check. Yeah, that looks quite nice actually. Yeah. I'm just gonna underexpose it just a little bit more. 13 seconds this time, then I'm gonna shoot it. And if this image turns out great, here's my shot. After a somewhat terrible day, this image made me a bit happy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's definitely not an A+ image, but it is better than the previous one. And I love the colors and the mood it gives. And I shouldn't forget, landscape photography is always about visiting the same place under different conditions. In the spring, when they open up the pathway down towards the waterfall and the pond, I will be there. So we're done shooting today, and I just wanted to say the two locations that we went to is actually a part of this Hantan River UNESCO Global Geopark. So Hantan River is a very long river that's located in North Gyeonggi province, and around it there are many geolocations because this river is very old. And around these locations you can find many good photo places, such as this Jane Falls or the one that I went to previously. So thanks for watching again, and please subscribe. If you like this video, please press like button. If you didn't like this video, please press the dislike button, but twice. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.